Once you've finalized your lead statuses, click Settings within the left-hand menu to create the first stat for your leaderboard. Under the Sales column, click Stats. In the upper right-hand corner, click New. Below the video is listed a number of different lead stats that are commonly used company to company. We're going to just create a few examples to show you how to use the application and then give you the breakdown later. At the top of the page, give your first stat an abbreviation and a name. In this case, we're going to do DK for doors knocked. Now you need to drag the elements into the table to create a formula. In this case, the doors knocked will simply be added up lead statuses. So we're going to click on the lead status and drag it into the table. Click the plus sign, drag it down as your operator, then click another lead status and drag it down. Now we're going to click on F1 and drag it into the second cell. Having F1 dragged down and then another operator with the plus sign down here, we're going to drag down the next lead status. So essentially all of these are going to be added together. Now no, I'm not adding any customization to the lead statuses. That will be saved for the end. We're just going to create the base formula so that it's easy to add at the end. So just drag down the next operator, lead status option, F2 into F3, plus next lead status, plus a sixth lead status. So this seems about right. I'm going to stop here and then start adding my lead statuses and see if I need to add or take away any. So I click on the drop down for the first cell and I apply not home 1. Then I'm going to change it from current to ever. The difference between current and ever is if that status is currently at that status or if that status has ever been that status. For example, if you have a lead status that goes from not home 1 to not home 2 on the leaderboard, if it was set to current within the stats page, it would only show up as a number 1. That's because that status is currently at the not home 2 status. If you had it set to ever on the stats page, then it would be marked as a 2 because the not home 1 was marked as well as the not home 2. So that status has ever been not home 1, it counts. So for doors knocked, we want to apply ever for each of the lead statuses. So we have not home 1, not home 2, not interested, go back. And in this situation, I'm going to skip appointment, contract signed, and callback because they aren't physical doors knocked, and I want to only count what attempts are made on the field. Some companies want to include all attempts, so it just depends on what you're kind of looking to set up. You're welcome to make that decision for whatever is best for your company. In this situation, I have the do not knock, and then I can choose to add referral or not. I'm actually going to not include referral because once a referral is received, as soon as that referral is followed up on, that's what I want to know happened next. So I'm going to go ahead and ignore referral and take away that sixth option just by dragging it into empty space. Now that I have my doors knocked set up the way I want, I'm going to click Save in the lower left-hand corner, and that creates my stat. There are some situations where you're just going to want a hard number of a particular lead status, for example, contract signed. So I'm going to give this an abbreviation of CS so it matches my lead status abbreviation. And I'm just going to give it a name. Now my contract signed. This could really be current or ever, just depends on your business processes. If you have situations where you're going to change it from contract signed to installed, you are going to want to make sure that that's listed as ever. So just be conscientious of your workflow and know if it's ever going to change lead statuses or not. And click Save. And now the next one I want to do is a money earned. So I'm just going to give that a money abbreviation and call this earned. Now, in this theoretical, say my reps earn $300 for every contract signed. So I'm going to set it to a contract signed, bring down my operator to multiply it, and then bring down my constant. So I'm going to change that constant to 300 and then check mark money stat and then click on save. The next one I'm going to want to do is a formula for closing percentage. So I'm going to create my base here. I'm going to go ahead and do total contracts signed divided by appointments set. Now in this situation, you have to have an appointment before a contract is able to be signed, and that's not the case for every market. So a lot of times people are going to want contracts signed out of either doors knocked or people talked to, whatever is most indicative of a closing ratio for how you're pitching. So we're going to call this closing percentage. We're going to give that a breakdown so that your reps can see what exactly is being counted. And then we're going to check mark percent stat and then save. Now there's one other way to create formulas. So if we click on new, we could always drag down a base stat. So say you have doors knocked and you just have potentially maybe one not home or something. So you could do minus not home or whatever it may be. You could basically do a people talked to just by using whatever stat you've created. So talk to. So just is kind of up to you in terms of what you're looking for, what you want to create on your leaderboards and what numbers you're looking to track. So I'm not going to save this one because I actually have two not homes and that's not going to be accurate numbers, but I just wanted to show you how to utilize the base stats. So now we're going to go back to our settings and then click on leaderboards. Now in the leaderboards, I had already created some test ones prior to this, so we're going to change this up and we're going to apply doors knocked, closing percentage, total contracts signed, and earned. So that's the order I want to see all of the stats. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and apply it to both overview and standings. These are just two different leaderboard pages that are accessible to you. The main difference is just organization. A lot of people don't ever set up the standings and just keep overview. Standings allows you to see different categories such as number of users or just how your team is doing as a whole, office is doing as a whole, etc. So we're going to change that to doors knocked, and I'll do user and office to show you the contrast there. Closing percentage, contract signed, and then earned. And then here we're just going to do contract signed and then closing percentage as the top two. So the top 10 will rank your reps in top 10 order for two different stats. The office board and rep board will just give you the top two reps and top two offices for each category of stats that you choose. And so this is really good for companies that want to scale. If you're not planning on scaling and planning on staying small, you don't have to pay too much attention to this. It just depends on what you're wanting to see and how you want to keep track of everything that they're doing. Click Save in the upper right-hand corner, and then click Leaderboards and then Overview within the left-hand menu. So Overview will default to today, and Standings will default to year to date. You're always welcome to choose a greater date range by clicking on the calendar or clicking on the quick date. Now, we can hover over each abbreviation and it's going to give us a breakdown. or you can click on the I in the upper right hand corner and it'll give you a breakdown of what each abbreviation means. So here I can see that it has my departments listed, and then when I click on the arrow, it'll give me the first name and last name of each rep within that section, and then how well they're doing in each category. For the top 10 rep board, if you chose to add rookies or veterans to profiles, you can rank them by experience or just be inclusive of all reps. And then you can go ahead and choose what that toggle is. So for this one, we have contract sign and closing percentage being ranked. In the left-hand menu, when you click on leaderboards and then standings, you can go ahead and do it similarly. You can change it from user to office as we applied on the stats page, and you can hover as we did on the overview. And that is our leaderboards training.